votre chaîne de proximité, 24 heures sur 24.
Good morning, good people, and welcome to Sports Frenzy on Infotv, the television of proximity and living together. We are happy to have you in our company this morning. Thank you for welcoming us into your different homes. Thank you for doing us the favor of giving us your attention for this 1 hour that we will be together. And we have a beautiful package for you today. But just in case you want to step out, don't worry. You can go and follow us live on your mobile devices. We are live on Facebook. And even after, you can watch the show on YouTube. But then I want to say a very big thank you to all of you who are already comfortably seated to follow this program. When we come back, we'll begin the show. Welcome back. This is Sports Frenzy on Infotv, bringing live from Efulan in Yaoundé, Cameroon. And just time for me to introduce to you the guest that we have here in the studio today. First of all, we have just close to me, Hyacinth Chia. He is a journalist in Cameroon and a wonderful sports analyst that you will be discovering even as this program goes on. Good morning, Hyacinth.
Good morning, Isaac. Good morning to the co-panelists and good morning to viewers of Infotv, especially sport lovers.
Thank you very much. And also we have just close to you, we have the star of the day. He is no other person but Adolphe Eno. Adolphe Eno, you're welcome to Sports Frenzy. You are welcome to Infotv.
Good morning, everybody. I want to thank you to give me this opportunity to be on your stage today.
You're welcome. And then we have just close to the star, the Eno man, we have another star this time around, a professional football referee, Elvis Mbenkum. He is a referee with the Cameroon Professional Football League, and he is here to tell us as much as he knows as this game is concerned. Elvis, you're welcome to Sports Frenzy.
Thank you very much, Isaac. Good morning, share panelists. Good morning, Cameroonians.
Well, gentlemen, you have heard it from them. They are ready to give you nothing but the best this morning. And without any waste of time, we are going to move straight into what has been making news because you would notice that we have already wasted some minutes. Want to catch up as soon as possible. So we will be entering into what was making news inside the week. And gentlemen, what we'll actually do is, as I give the main point, we are going to discuss it together and then we'll move to the next one. And so right now we begin with this news in Cameroon to say that the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, Professor Narcisse Mwele Kombi, was in the west region of the country inside the week to inspect some of the infrastructure that are supposed to host the 2021 AFCON that is scheduled to take place in Cameroon in the month of January and February. Now, let me ask you, Hyacinth, as an analyst, the question today is it really a matter of getting the sporting infrastructure, or is a matter of the possibility of Cameroon actually hosting the 2021 AFCON, apart from the stadia, which he says he's satisfied with the advancement of works?
Yeah, I think the two are very much important because in as much as we expect the African Cup of Nations that is coming next year, early next year, we have to exploit this opportunity of, let me say, I call it an opportunity because everything has gone to a standstill. We have to use this opportunity to ensure that by the time the pandemic is giving way, the infrastructure should be ready. Because, you know, he went down to the West region to see how things are unfolding.
Yes.
And he has equally been going down to some stadia across Yaoundé, like the Olembe Stadium and the likes. So I think it is very, very important. Though maybe they might be telling us that everything is intact, but at a point we'll have to go back to a point where they will begin to tell us that they need some finishing touches and all that, and that will have an impact to play as far as hosting the Shan first, because we have to host the Shan before the AFCON.
I'm happy because we have just talked about the Shan, and here we have with us Adolf Eno, who is one of the players that was pre-selected to participate in the 2020 Shan that was supposed to be hosted by Cameroon, and he is here with us today. Adolf, when you hear that the minister was in Bafoussam to inspect infrastructure that is actually related to the AFCON in 2021, and we know that the 2020 Shan was postponed to yet an unknown date, do you feel that Cameroon, that catch-up, there will be that space for you guys to catch up and show Cameroon what you are made of as far as the Shan is concerned before we talk about the AFCON in the first place?
Well, I think it's a very great move. It's really nice at times to go to the actual ground to see how the work is going on. Okay. So to me, I think it's really good. So,
Adolf, tell us, how ready were you if the Shan were to be played in the month of April?
Well, you know, football most of the times is always good to speak while you're doing it, other than just talking about it, because it's a game of competition.
But morally speaking, you were prepared.
Yes.
Ready to make Cameroonians proud.
Yes, I was prepared to defend my color, to defend my nation. So it's my dream also, you know, to defend my flag. So I was really ready. Just that it didn't work well because of the crisis all over the world.
But you are still hopeful that when the opportunity finally comes, you are going to make Cameroon proud. Well, we have Elvis here, who is a professional referee. And he is one of those who was trying to convince me off the mic that the AFCON can actually still hold in 2021, in the month of January. Elvis, are you still very certain?
Yes, we are 6 months away, Isaac, so I think we cannot afford, after postponing the CAN in 2019,
yes,
to still postpone the CAN again in 2020.
It's not actually postponed, it will just be a glissement.
Yes, it's still, yes, it's a play on words. It's a play on words.
Okay.
Technically, glissement and postponement are the same thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay. The fact is that the thing has been shifted to another date. So really, since it's been long that we've had that joy.
Yes.
I mean, it's over 40-something years that we've had that joy of the Nations Cup. So really, as you can see, in the midst of coronavirus, the minister is going down and with a delegation to make sure that let us not sit and wait for coronavirus to die completely. At least we are already winning the battle. Africa is winning the battle of coronavirus. So let us try to win the battle of football and organize this competition.
I like that language of winning.
Isaac, I would like to differ with him a little.
Okay.
Because in as much as we want to see the CAN,
yes,
the AFCON played in January, we have to be very, very sincere to ourselves.
Okay.
Because at this point, we still have about 4 days of qualification matches.
Yeah,
and if FIFA does not bring out the calendar, maybe to suit within the 6 months that we have, then it is very, very obvious.
But Elvis says that the CAF has already had a calendar. It is still in the background, but that calendar could come out very soon.
It is still in the background, and the calendar will also depend on how progressive we are in the containment of the coronavirus.
So we are 6 months away.
Yes.
We are 6 months away. You said how many matches to play?
4 matches to go.
We are 6 months away.
And I think that
everything is still possible.
Feasible.
And if CAF brings out a calendar, and we play qualification matches according to FIFA calendar.
Yes.
Yes, because FIFA has to maybe halt club games to permit
the national teams
to play. So, and if FIFA does not do that within the 6 months, then there will still be a problem.
Okay. Well, I think we don't have, that's not our main talking points for the day, so we'll leave it at that, and we move on to talk about the champions of the Cameroon Professional Football League 1 for the 2019-2020 season, PWG of Bamenda, who inside the week received an important consignment from Minister Rose Mba-Acha, an elite of the Northwest region. And this is interesting. And I think I should first of all give this question to the guy who is actually a football player. It is true that he is not a player of PWG of Bamenda, but he has been in Bamenda because he played for Young Sports Academy 2015, 2016. Adolf, how did you receive this news that this team was given support by one of their elites?
Well, I was really happy about it because it really shows that they're trying to support what the champions did this year.
Okay.
Yeah, PWD has been a club that exists for 50 years or 58 years without that champion.
Years.
Yes, I think 58 years
yes.
without that trophy. So it was really a great joy, you know. It was really a great joy. So I really appreciate some of our elites from the Northwest trying to support the club to push. And, you know, after that level, you have a lot of challenges. Yes, you have to defend the African
the nation
yes,
at the
African level.
League.
Yes, at the African level. So I really do appreciate it.
Hyacinth, maybe you continue from where Adolf has just ended, talking about the preparation to the 2020-2021 CAF Champions League. Are you confident that the PWD of Bamenda are going to make Cameroon proud? Because we know in the years past, we've had Cameroonian clubs who have qualified for this, but they messed up. The last beautiful thing that happened was with Cotton Sport of Garoua, and it's been a very long time for us to see another club actually coming out to do something beautiful for Cameroon.
Okay, before I tell you if they should make us proud or not, I would like to salute the gesture, because it's not every day that we see that. I equally witnessed another gesture yesterday. The president of the football league in the central region,
yes,
equally congratulated Yafoot yesterday for making it to Elite One. So those are moves that we have to salute. You know, these teams are barely struggling to survive. PWD of Bamenda is a club of the people. Nobody owns it like an individual team. So when such moves are coming up, it tells you that everybody would like to see PWD Bamenda go places. So making it to the CAF Champions League, I think that it all depends on how prepared they will be, the level of preparedness they will put in.
Yeah, but with the kits, the training kits, the balls, the jerseys and everything, they should boast them.
Of course, that's why I'm saying that if they go back to the drawing board and say, oh, what did we do to be champions of Cameroon? And then they ask themselves, what can we do to make Cameroon proud out there when we are out in the African continent?
Yes.
So it will give them that internal motivation to go into work and then make Cameroon proud, because I must tell you, when PWD of Bamenda is winning, the entire Northwest region is really happy.
Yeah.
Likewise, Cameroon, because it's not every day that we see a club who barely struggled to be part of League One.
League One this season, yeah.
And then ending off
as a champion,
lifting the trophy.
That was the irony of the day. And then maybe we just give that question to Elvis Mbenkum, a professional football referee. First of all, tell us, what is your appreciation of this gesture done by Minister Rose Mbacha?
It's very welcome, and we encourage other elites to do as much, because if we have all the elites of North and Southwest, like I'm speaking loud like somebody from the Southwest or Northwest, so I like an Anglophone. So if we have more elites from these regions who can do such gestures, we won't have only a PWD as a team, a first division team in this country. So I think Kumbu strikers that we know that made most of the ones happy in the 2000
Tico United,
Mount, all those things, Mount. So
Football Academy.
So all those things can boil back if we have people who do such gestures, like want to take into.
I wouldn't miss the opportunity to ask you this question, Elvis. As a professional football referee who knows exactly what was happening on the terrain, many are of the opinion that the PWD of Bamenda were crowned champions by the coronavirus and not actually the fact that they merited it on the terrain. Do you agree?
No. That is very erroneous to say such a thing.
Okay.
Really,
so they deserved
the crown. Very disrespecting for those boys that we saw playing, and really they were determined. They had the determination. We are not crowned champions in Cameroon. Cameroon is not a small football nation. Cameroon is a big football nation.
That's right.
You cannot be top of the Cameroon Football League by chance. There is something. There are people working. So really, we want to really encourage the coach and the players for a job well done. That is it.
Okay, gentlemen.
I think I just want to say that's a very wrong thing to say.
Yes.
From those who are trying to say that, because the coronavirus did not take them to the top of the table. Before the coronavirus,
they were already on the
top of the table.
Which means that in life, when you have your chance,
But they are saying, if should the coronavirus had not come, if they had continued playing normally, Hyacinth, then maybe Cotton Sport of Garoua could have come back.
Those are hypotheses that cannot be proven at this point in time.
What if they keep winning?
What if they keep winning?
Yes.
Well, that is a very interesting one. Gentlemen, I think we should move on because we still have so much to talk. As far as what is making news inside the week, reports say that CAF President Ahmad has received the blessings of the executive committee to actually stand as the president for the presidential elections when that comes around. That will be in the month of March in 2021. Now, gentlemen, tell me very briefly, do you think with what he has done so far that Ahmad stands a chance to actually win and retain the presidency of the African Football Confederation, CAF?
Yeah, I think that Isaac, it depends on who is on his side, because in Africa most often it does not depend on what
you have done
or what you can do. Depends on who is backing you up.
Okay.
So, but personally, I think Ahmad has not really lived up to expectations.
Okay.
Yeah, because he has this attitude of how do I call it?
The mafia dance?
Inconsistencies.
Okay.
Because he goes, he cannot, you cannot really be sure with Ahmad. You understand?
Yeah.
So, and if he's seeking for
the
another
author
mandate,
of the word Glissema in Cameroon.
of course, if he's seeking for another mandate, I think maybe he might get it. But if he should go in for another mandate, then many will pray that he has to step up in his way of doing things.
Okay. Maybe I really yes, Elvis, you are burning to say something?
I really beg to disagree, Isaac.
Yes, go ahead. Tell us.
Ahmad is every other thing except incompetent.
No, he didn't say he wasn't competent. He said he was inconsistent.
Inconsistent.
Yes.
Which
meaning that
which is still
he
part
can
of
say something today and then tomorrow he says another thing.
A competent person does not do that. We agree. A competent person won't do that.
Go ahead with your
So to you, he's totally incompetent.
So what I want to say is that, well, Ahmad, for what he is coming, and for the way he's looking at African football, we've had this status quo that maybe we are Africa, we should just be like this, but he's trying to bring a kind of wind of change to African football.
Okay.
And we need that, although those who are concerned should stand behind this man, let him bring that will until his mandate is over.
I was about to ask you the question because Hyacinth talked about the person that is backing you, and we know that as we are speaking, Ahmad is not in the very good books of FIFA President Gianni Infantino, who has actually given his blessings to another lady who might actually be challenging Ahmad come March 2021, and that is the person of Lydia Nsekera. She is from Burundi. She was a former president of the Burundi Football Federation, and she is a member of the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, since 2009, and she is also a member of the FIFA Executive Committee. This tells you that the opposition that Ahmad is going to face this time around might not only be from Lydia, but from those that are backing her.
Africans need to take our responsibilities.
Okay.
We don't always have to be imposed by...
No, it's not about being imposed. It's about backing.
Yes, it's a
when
strategy.
you have a backing, it means the person can actually go ahead and campaign for you.
It's a strategy. It's a strategy, and that is going to affect some of the Africans themselves. When they hear that this person is now backing this one, it affects them. But we Africans need to know what we want. Okay. And we know that Ahmad, and history has it, it's not only in the football field, that when we have any African who wants to stand for the betterment of Africa, people try to look for ways to just put some kind of things on him. And it always works on us. I'm always surprised on
Thank you very much. Maybe Adolf should say something about Ahmad. As a football player who has been playing on the African continent, are you satisfied with what Ahmad has done thus far?
Well, I really do appreciate, because it's not really easy. To me, I agree with the international referee. Yeah. I agree with him because it's not easy. You know, it's not easy. So most of the time, these people just need our support instead of criticizing them.
Okay. Yeah. Well, since we are coming from you, we will leave that one at that. Maybe subsequently, when developments come on that topic, we are going to bring it back. But just to tell our audience that Ahmad is 60 years old, and the lady, Lydia Nsekera, that could challenge him is 53. The age is not saying anything. Let us continue our discussion with the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, a football striker, Juin Mbokani, who has won the 2020 Ebony Shoe Award with Royal Antwerp in the Belgian Pro League for a second time. The trophy rewards the best African players in the Belgian Top Flight Championship. And this guy has played for Tepe Mazembe in the Africa before going over there. And he actually had to defeat strong names to emerge as the winner of this competition this year, beating people like Clinton Mata, who emerged as the best player for Club Brugge, the champions of Belgium this year. And of course, Simon Deli, Vadis Ojija, and Crepin Diatta of Senegal to emerge the winner of this distinction. Now, Mbokani scored 24 goals in 34 appearances this season, and he also emerged the highest goal scorer for Royal Antwerp with 18 goals in the Belgian Pro League. When you hear statistics like this from a fellow African player who is playing his trade in Europe, Dieu merci Mbokani, Adolphe, what is your appreciation of it?
Well, as a striker too, I really do appreciate, because scoring a goal is not easy. That's the most difficult part in football. Most players can really play well. Like, we have 11 players in the field, but all of us are striving for a goal. So these strikers having this record is really a great thing. You know, I really do appreciate. And
you feel that one day if you should play in the Belgian Pro League, maybe you should be winning the Ebony Shoe Award too.
Yes, because this
motivates you, right?
Yes, that's a great level also, and a great challenge for him. And he defending that, I really wish I had the opportunity too. Well,
because of time, we are not going to waste so much time on it, but maybe just one word from Hyacinth about that.
Yeah, just to say it's a great performance. He has not only made the current team proud, but he has made TP Mazembe very, very proud, because they groomed him, and then he's now flying their flag out there. So it's something to salute.
And that tells us that Africa has a lot of talent. And when we come to the main talking points of the day, we are going to come back to some of these striking issues. But let's just move on now to talk, to go to the European continent, to say that the German Bundesliga, I know when we talk about the German Bundesliga, you guys should be smiling, because you know that they have defied the COVID-19, and they are those that are showing the light now for those who would want to do something as far as football is concerned. The German Bundesliga is well on course to completing its season for this year. And just to say that Bayern Munich are the current leaders, 7 points clear at the top of that league. And with that decisive win over Borussia Dortmund last week, they now stand a better chance to actually emerge as the champions this year. But then we also want to indicate that they will be facing another huge encounter today, actually, today, Saturday, yes. They will be playing this afternoon against Bayern Leverkusen, and that game is also going to be very determinant. Now, let me ask you, do you guys feel that Bayern Munich are already very comfortable to go ahead and clinch this title, succeed themselves? Maybe Hyacinth, you go first.
Isaac, I think Bayern defeating Borussia Dortmund, that was already
the close of the
a point to show that they stand out very tall to be champions again this year. Because you remember that was the very first defeat Borussia Dortmund was receiving at home. So which tells you that it takes only the likes of Bayern this year to put.
Borussia Dortmund was defeated by Bayern by 4-0.
Of course.
In Bayern.
Of course. So it's just to tell you that Bayern, despite the coronavirus, when they went for the coronavirus break, they were still preparing. And you can see the performance. The performance will tell you that they were not sleeping. So with the likes of Lewandowski, you know that's the best striker in the world right now. We can say that without any fear, that because he has proven that many times. And
one of the best strikers.
I mean, like
Before Suarez.
One of the
I am
best.
talking about the current best striker, right?
One of the best.
Suarez is a striker,
Yes.
but at the moment
Lewandowski is the
Suarez
best for you.
has been out for
That's
some
your
time.
opinion.
Yes, even in Germany,
I am
that's
not-
not the best striker
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yes, that's why I said it's his opinion.
for the season.
Lewandowski is your best striker. Go ahead.
Yes, for the season.
Okay, let me go by your
that's not-
philosophy. One of the best strikers,
Good.
Yes.
and he has proven that many times. So I think that with him and the rest of the team, they have proven that they are so much ready to lift the Bundesliga trophy this year again.
Okay.
And that I think they have just a match to go, and should they win, then everything will be in their favor.
Yes, you are boiling to say something.
No, I just
Right.
want to add to all the things, the nice things that he's been saying. Just that what we can notice this time around with the Bundesliga is that home advantage with the empty stadia.
Doesn't really help.
Doesn't
Home
count.
advantage is no longer.
It's not there. There is
People
nothing
just-
like home advantage.
There is no home advantage without a 12th player. People are winning everywhere, and the statistics are very striking because in over 37 home games,
Yeah.
we have only 8 victories at home. 37 home
That's
games.
serious.
We have only 8 victories at home, so we can. That says
That
it all.
that
That
tells
the
the whole
12th
story.
player in football.
It's not really. Now, maybe Adolf, you tell us about this particular player, Sancho, who is a marvel for Borussia Dortmund. The young man was given a yellow card inside the week. I'm going to come back to the referee to tell us what exactly transpired. But he was given a yellow card, and after the German Football Association came out to say that they were not going to take sanctions against him and others for protesting or showing their support to the Black Lives Matter movement in the United States of America following the death of George Floyd. What is your appreciation of this talent, first of all, and then the yellow card saga?
Well, we Africans, we have this problem. So we always face this challenge each time, even though the football nations most of the time stand to fight against it. So I really do appreciate when some of these players stand against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, we
It
are
is
one
very,
people.
very clear.
Yes.
No to racism.
Yes, no to
It's
racism.
the motto of all
game.
football players.
Yes, they say equal game, equal game. So it's a good motto to always stand by, even though, great players, Samuel Eto'o, have always fight for these things till their time has passed. Even Luis Figo,
Yeah.
if you remember in Barcelona, Luis Figo had that problem when he was in Real Madrid.
Real, yeah.
Yes. So against Barcelona, those insults, those things, we are equal people.
Okay.
Yes. So
Elvis, the appreciation on the yellow card. Tell us about that precisely. If you were that referee, would you have given Sancho the yellow card for showing his support?
No, the law is very clear.
Okay.
The law is very clear. You do not write anything. You do not write anything.
Okay.
So that's the law.
But under the circumstances now, FIFA is saying the guy should be pardoned, and other players who did that.
Well, that is coming from above. But
So you take
if you're
it like
down
that.
there, you apply the law. If they're up there want to do something else,
they can go ahead.
because if you do not do that, they will ask you why you
Didn't do.
Yeah. So
That's really what the referee who handled that game and actually handed out that yellow card said after the game. Well, we want to move on because, like I said, we are actually running. There is no time for us to develop all our talking points today. And so we just want to briefly say that in England, the English Premier League is also set to restart on the 17th of June this year. And the English Football Association has actually adopted new rules to govern the games when the season eventually restarts. One of the beautiful things coming from that end is that the clubs are now given the authorization to go ahead and organize friendly games before the season officially restarts. But we want to dwell on something else in the English Premier League. First, the fact that Liverpool Football Club could actually win the championship title that they have been waiting for the past 30 years. They could actually win this title with just the first match that they play. That is if Arsenal is able to defeat Manchester City on the 17th. Gentlemen, do you people see this scenario that I just described playing out?
Yeah, I think Isaac, you have said this.
You think Arsenal will beat Man City and Liverpool will beat Everton and claim the championship title on the 21st?
One thing you have to understand is that English football is very, very unique, very peculiar in their own style of play. Because you might expect to see a Man City excelling over Arsenal Maybe
and then that's
like
where
3 goals.
Arsenal
And then the
excels.
reverse becomes true because it's England and there's no small team in quote in England.
That's true.
So that hypothesis can maybe come out to be true.
Okay.
So and that will be an advantage to Liverpool because I don't even count on such advantages for Liverpool.
Liverpool are already champions,
To be
as far as you are concerned.
Champions.
I know.
Of course, it suffices for them to win at least 1 or 2 matches.
Two matches.
Yeah, to consolidate their championship title.
That's true.
So I think that Liverpool, whatever transpired there below the table, it does not really have to affect Liverpool that much.
Okay. Maybe I will leave it at that, and we'll go to Adolf. Adolf will not be talking about Liverpool, whether they will be champions or not. Let's talk about another African player that is playing straight over there. To talk about Nigerian international Juin Igalo. Juin Igalo, who has reached a deal with his Chinese Super League club, Shanghai Shenhua, to extend his loan deal at Manchester United to January 2021. And this has been his childhood dream. He has always cherished to play for Man U. He has played for Manchester United this year. When he came there in January, he has played 8 matches and he has scored 4 goals. 4 goals for a striker like Juin Igalo is a good thing, but he is yet to start as far as the English Premier League is concerned. He has been coming off bench. As a striker, what is your appreciation of this guy staying back in Man U?
Well, I really appreciate because he took a very great challenge. You know, the Premier League is so challenging, and you not having all the 90 minutes and you're coming in, you do your job. That's very important.
You see, get the goals.
Yes, because scoring the goals means you're doing your job good. You know, having 8 matches and you have 4 goals, but you don't have all the time counted. Like the game is 90 minutes.
Adolf, there is this question that many Nigerians have been asking. I think if we already had our WhatsApp number there, our brothers from Nigeria could already send in their contributions to tell us what exactly they think about this. Because you know that in Shanghai, Shenhua, in China, the guy earns a very considerate amount of money. It takes him something really, really heavy. Would you, as a football player, would you prefer the money or the glory? Because when you play for Manchester United, you get the glory. Because every week in, week out, they get to see you on television. But when you play in China, even if nobody's seeing you, you get home a good amount of money.
Yes, I know we are Africans.
What will you go for?
Yes, that's why I'm coming there. I know we are Africans.
Yes.
Most of us count on money because our continents are poor, our homes are poor. But to be frank with you, if I'm straight with you, football is something that is a passion. Most of these players don't even go for the money.
Okay.
So that is
the money comes later.
Yes, the money comes later. So most of the players go for the passion and their family, where you're playing, where your family is comfortable, and yes. So
just to add,
I
think that football is something. First and foremost, you need to make a name.
Okay.
Because when you make a name, the money will come.
That's true.
Because if you leave Cameroon to China or the Middle East,
yes,
despite the amount of money that you are getting, you will be little known. So if you go to Spain, if you go to England, if you go to Germany,
Italy,
it suffices for you just to have a good 1 season. And then you can maybe acquire the type of contract that you need in such countries and make the money that you want.
Okay. So, Elvis, your appreciation, maybe we'll be coming back to it, but just tell us, what do you think about it?
No, what I can add to what they've all said about the Premier League is we can appreciate their decision to allow 5 substitutions for the end of the season. So that is going to let players play and not really stress very much, because we are coming back from where we have to avoid injuries and things like that. So given that there are a lot of competitions that are piling up with Nations Cups and Euros and stuff, so really...
Okay, thank you very much. Maybe we just move straight to Spain to talk the Spanish La Liga that is also set to recommence next week. Actually, by Saturday the 12th, we will be having the La Liga recommence. But then what I just want us to talk about La Liga is the fact that 2019 AFCON winner with Algeria, Soufiane Feghouli, is linked with a possible return to the Spanish top flight championship. And the 30-year-old who is currently playing for Galatasaray in Turkey could be moving to Real Betis. Now, let me just leave it at that. This guy is a striker. He's doing some beautiful things. This issue of recurrence where we see African players moving to Spain, the Spanish football. It's true, the guy has already played for Valencia. He masters the terrain very well. He knows exactly what it means to play in La Liga. Is it a good move for him, Adolf?
Yes, I think it's a good move, depending on the player, you know.
Why leave Galatasaray for Real Betis? I think we know Galatasaray more, at least at the level of the Champions League.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. All these things depends on the player, depends on the dream of the player. Most of these players, we fans,
yes,
let's say fans, always want their players to just go to the top level, but they don't know about
what they want.
what they want.
Okay.
Yeah, the achievements.
So it's important to consider the players themselves.
Yes, the decision, because we have this same argument like fellow Cameroonian Rigobert Song that was in Arsenal, having all was assistant captain and moved to Barcelona. Yeah. People were just talking. He moved to Barcelona. His football has ended. No, who told you that his football has ended? Yes, Alex Song. Yes, most of these players have their dreams. Okay. Today I'm in Arsenal, I'm playing. Maybe I've achieved what I want to achieve there. Maybe my dream was to end my career in Barcelona. Okay. As long as I get there, I get satisfied.
That is it. So even if you don't play,
yes, I get satisfied. So at the end of the day, end of the day, we footballers, we play for ourselves. Okay. We don't just play just for the fans. Because you living for the fans means you're going to live your whole life without your own family.
That's true.
So I think it's a great move for him, depending on what he wants.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I think we'll leave it at that for today. We go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take our main talking points of the day. Welcome back, and this is time for us to talk our main talking points of the day, and we are going to be talking about talent drain from the African continent. You would notice that as we were speaking, we talked about many African players that are plying their trade out of the country, and just time for us to say that Africa is actually experiencing an irony of a sort, because we have the best talents, but then it is the African continent that is not very visible when it comes to top competitions. Even the AFCON, we have to negotiate with European clubs to allow our players to come back and play this important competition that is important to us as Africans. And the question that I will be asking my guest this morning is, why do we see Africa so talented, so gifted, and the players, everybody wants to go out of the country? Maybe you tell us, Adolf, to begin with, why are you guys always hungry to go out of Cameroon or Africa?
Okay, now I will start by saying, first, the European continent really invests so much in football. Okay. They don't just speak football, but they put everything in it. They put it in practice. Okay. They have good pitches, they have good infrastructures, good materials to work with. And they pay the players very well. Okay. So they try to make the players to live in good condition. But when it comes to our continent, most of African countries, we don't really see football like the lights of the Westerners. We just see football, maybe I remember back home while I was still a kid, you playing football, you don't just know what you're doing. You're just a lazy kid, you don't want to go to school, they just look at you like you don't know what you're doing. But that's not how they see it in the Western world. In the Western world, they see football as an occupation.
It's a profession.
Yes, it's a profession. It's a job. Yeah. It's an employment. But they just see football like any other kind of thing. Okay. So players that have good dreams and big dreams and really wants to go far and really wants to make name and want the world to see what they have. Yeah. They have to leave. Maybe they leave the African continent to go to the Western world to play. Then coming back to bring this dream to their people. It's like more of educating back your people that this dream is great. And when you start being in that level, that's where people start to say, hey, it means what you're doing was really good.
Okay. Now, Hyacinth, Adolf has talked about the stadia, the money and everything that the Europeans and the other countries are actually putting in to promote their football. Why can't Africa do that? so that we can have our stars retained on the African continent, and our own competitions like the CAF Champions League, the CAF Confederations Cup, and other competitions, the Africa Cup of Nations, should be respected as we respect the Euro, as we respect the UEFA Champions League and the other small leagues that are played there.
Yeah, I think that that's really something that disturbs us up to today, because we, like you said, we have one of the best talents in Africa when it comes to football. Because when African players go out there, you see them excelling. You cannot talk Barcelona today without talking Samuel Eto'o.
Yeah.
You cannot talk Chelsea today without
talking DJ
Drogba and players like that. So when you see what is happening, you ask yourself, what is the problem? You discover that at a point,
you cannot talk Liverpool today without Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah,
and Naby Keita. So
yeah,
when you see what is happening, you at times the blame, to me, the blame goes to maybe the European continent, who is trying as much as possible to maybe drain our talent, and the blame also comes back to some of us, African, those who are at the top of organizing our football.
Good.
I take an example with Cameroon.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a player, he plays professional football.
Yeah.
There are people in Cameroon, there are fans in Cameroon, maybe who have never seen him play a live match on television.
Yeah. That's true.
Which means that there is a problem at the level of exposure. Because you are playing a professional football and you are not known.
Nobody even knows that you are doing something.
Football is like music. Football is like film acting, which has to go with the exposure. Because in club football, it is all about business.
Okay.
And if you don't expose your goods, nobody will see them. And then at a point, most of them play professional football here. And you cannot tell me there is no, there are very few clubs in Cameroon who can pay their players throughout the season.
Okay.
Yeah, we have always have those cases of players going for 5 months, 6 months without salary. And then if such a player should see an opportunity to move to Europe, where there is a regular salary, he will just try as much as possible to grab it. And then another thing is that, like I said, our authorities, in Cameroon, for instance, we start a championship. There are times we start a championship, we don't have a complete calendar for that championship. You just get up this week, they tell you that you are playing next week. Before the English Premier League starts, they know the very first match to the very last match, the date
already programmed.
The dates are known. So
except something like the coronavirus comes and then changes the whole thing.
Yes.
So it gives you that advantage to follow up the championship and really see how it is doing. So the professionalism in Africa is quite different from that in Europe. But there are still some very professional clubs in Africa, like the likes of Esperance de Tunis, the likes of TP Mazembe. Those are professional clubs. The money might not be the same,
but
like
very few.
Which is in Europe.
Well, I would say, I want to tip in something in that. Because when we are talking about this professionality, there are African countries that they are very professional, in the same like the England Premier League.
Yes.
So I think we should be talking about our nation here. Yes, we should be talking about the professional football in Cameroon. That's where the problem is. Because there are players that their dream is to go to Egypt.
Of course.
There are players that is to go to Ghana, Nigeria.
I think if we have players like that,
yes,
be great.
Gabon, those things, Congo, there are players that sign millions there.
And there are players here that
and they respect their contract.
That opportunity to be selected Morocco, to play either with the intermediate Lions, either with the under 20 Lions, either with the under 17 Lions. Nobody sees you.
That's very true.
Gives you the
maybe we ask the professional referee who knows the spirit of the game even better. Elvis Benkum, why do we see our African stars flying out of the continent, and then our own competitions are this much disrespected?
Ivor, before
Isaac, please.
Isaac. Sorry. Before answering your question, I would like to first of all send a shout out to my colleagues. If I don't talk of our own situation as referees, they'll be looking at me. Well, maybe we can leave it for another time, because the players are far better than referees in the country. Of course, they are far better than referees.
Yeah, because the whole setup is not well organized.
It's not like I'm betraying any secret. Okay, so they are far better. So the only thing I will be adding is that really, to everything they are saying, we really need to respect football in this country for what football has done to Cameroon.
Yes.
For Cameroon is known Cameroon is one of the first countries in Africa after Egypt for their history and whatever to be known to the Western world and so on for who they are. It's football. And it was Mila Roger against a guitar and things like that. We remember all of those type of things. So really they should respect football and don't think football, as he was saying, is for those who have missed their way in life and those playing football can do anything. So they really should respect football. And the second thing is that we should try to lay down the rules clearly. Because I don't imagine a Kylian Mbappe, 19-year-old, playing in the Cameroon national team, for instance. We should make the rules very clear. We should know by reducing the corruption. The corruption is really much. I mean, we don't know what it takes for you to play in the national team, in the junior national team, or going down even to the U23, U20, 21, and so on. So really, U17 even. So it's really very difficult. So at some point in time, we see this player as we voted for and said, no, this one is good. And at some point in time, he's not called up, and we are always very surprised. So really, we really need to take football seriously in the country and reduce some of these corrupt practices. Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. I think actually we are going to continue talking these talking points because we didn't have enough time to talk about it today. Next week, it's a promise, we are going to come back to it so that we can actually talk more and get the questions. I mean, get answers to the many questions that we are asking and even our televiewers are asking. And also, it's going to give them the opportunity. Now you have the telephone numbers. You can think about the program. You can think about the talking points. And then you send in your contributions even in the course of the week. And why not next week when we come back to conclude the show. But this time, I just want to give this very quick rendezvous for those who are following football. They should know that this afternoon, we are going to be having some interesting encounters. Bayern Leverkusen will be welcoming Bayern Munich this afternoon from 2:30 p.m. after we leave the studio. And then Leipzig will take on Paderborn at 2:30 p.m. too. Meanwhile, Borussia Dortmund will face Hertha at 5:30 p.m. For Schalke 04, they will be playing against Union Berlin. That match will be taking place tomorrow at 3 p.m. And just to say, like we have already indicated, that Sports Frenzy is a newborn baby on Infotv, and we are happy to know that you were many who watched the program today. But please, we want to build a beautiful community of friends. Sports Frenzy should be something that will be regular on your menu on Saturday morning from 11 to 12. And so please make sure that you take the telephone numbers that are there on the screen and write us even hereafter so that we can add you on a database and see how we can better serve you, how to bring out interesting talking points. Please tell us where you're watching us from the African continent and even around the world. We would like to know so that we can put ourselves together to serve you better. Maybe just time for me to go and straight to conclude the program. Just to say very big thank you to the management of Infotv, starting with the big man of the house, Jodenin Veng, and of course the general manager of Infotv, Valère Bertrand Bessala. I want to say a very big thank you to Ben Vaz, who was at the technical board to make sure that we have the best. And then Melissa Mejo was behind the cameras. I had a very beautiful crew here. I want to say thank you to Elvis Benkum. I want to say thank you to Adolphe Eno, and thank you to Hyacinth Che, who joined me in the studio. We have some others who are actually somewhere in the studio, just waiting for us to come out. Thank you very, very much for those of you who took out time to watch the show. It was a pleasure being at your service. We hope to be again together when we come again your way next Saturday. Thank you. Until we meet again, keep sporting.